Two empires, one battlefield. This is Biz Battle, the arena where world giants collide. Tech, cars, food, finance. We expose the billion-dollar wars shaping our world. Get ready. This is Biz Battle.
This isn't just about which console sits under your TV, or which controller feels best in your hands. It's about something much bigger, a cultural phenomenon that has shaped generations of players and inspired countless memories. It's not a simple Mario versus Kratos debate, or a question of which mascot is more iconic. It's about the stories we share, the friendships we forge, and the rivalries that spark our imaginations. The rivalry between Nintendo and Sony is a clash of philosophies, histories, and visions for the future of entertainment. Each company has carved its own path, with Nintendo embracing creativity and whimsy, while Sony pursues cinematic experiences and cutting-edge technology. It's a battle fought in boardrooms, where billion-dollar decisions are made, and in the hearts of millions of players worldwide, who choose sides and defend their favorites with passion. Nintendo, the artisan of play, and Sony, the global empire, are locked in a decades-long struggle for dominance. Their headquarters may be worlds apart, but their ambitions are equally grand. To truly understand this showdown, we must look beyond the plastic shells of their machines, and into the innovation, engineering, and vision that power them. Every decision they make, from the shape of a joystick to the price of a digital game, sends ripples across the gaming world, influencing how we play, and what we expect from our consoles. Their rivalry pushes both to innovate, ensuring gaming never stands still. New ideas, bold risks, and creative leaps are born from this competition, driving the industry forward. This is the story of that race. A deep dive into the business behind the fun, the passion behind the products, and why Nintendo versus Sony is the ultimate entertainment showdown. To truly understand why Nintendo and Sony operate so differently, we have to look far beyond their current products and marketing strategies. We need to go back to their roots, to the very beginnings of each company, and see how their unique histories shaped their philosophies and approaches to business. Nintendo began in 1889 in Kyoto, making handmade Hanafuda playing cards, a company built on tangible, family-focused fun, rooted in Japanese tradition and craftsmanship. This legacy shaped Nintendo's culture for generations, a toy maker obsessed with the pure joy of play, not just the latest technology or cutting-edge hardware. When Nintendo entered electronics, it did so as an inventor, not a technologist, creating quirky, accessible hardware like the Game & Watch and NES, always prioritizing fun and creativity over technical specs. Even as the world changed, Nintendo's focus remained on bringing people together, making products that spark imagination and laughter across generations. Sony's story, on the other hand, starts in post-war 1946 Tokyo, founded as an ambitious electronics shop by engineers and visionaries determined to rebuild Japan through innovation. Sony's legacy is technological innovation. The transistor radio, Trinitron TV, and Walkman, each product redefining how the world experiences music, television, and media. Sony's DNA is about pushing boundaries, taking risks, and setting new standards for what technology can do, always with a global mindset. Sony entered gaming almost by accident, after a failed partnership with Nintendo, but brought the full force of a global tech giant, combining hardware expertise, media savvy, and international ambition. PlayStation was never a toy. It was a sophisticated entertainment device for a mature audience, designed to compete with the world's best in both technology and content. Today, PlayStation is just one part of Sony's vast empire, letting it leverage technology, media, and financial resources to absorb risks and innovate in ways Nintendo simply can't. Their origins explain everything about how they compete today. One company rooted in play and tradition, the other in technology and reinvention. Nintendo's business model is built on vertical integration and brand control. They make both the hardware and the blockbuster games, so most revenue flows straight back to Kyoto. This tight ecosystem means high profit margins, no hefty licensing fees, just in-house hits like Mario and Zelda. The Switch was a money-printing machine, with each game sale boosting profits. But this model is risky. When hardware sales slow, profits drop sharply. Nintendo's fortunes rise and fall with each console generation. The upcoming Switch 2 is a make-or-break moment. Nintendo must recapture the magic to restart its cycle. Success means another boom, Failure could be devastating. Everything rides on their next big idea. Sony's PlayStation is a titan, generating massive revenue, but with thinner profit margins than Nintendo. The scale is immense, billions spent on exclusives, marketing, and blockbuster game development. PlayStation is just one part of Sony's global empire, so profits are measured differently. Sony's real strength is diversification and digital services. PlayStation Network with digital sales and subscriptions provides stable, recurring income. Even if hardware sales dip, millions of PlayStation Plus subscribers keep revenue flowing. Sony's corporate safety net lets it take big risks, like VR and billion-dollar studio acquisitions. While Nintendo bets everything on each console, Sony plays the long game, building a resilient ecosystem. Nintendo and Sony are guided by radically different philosophies. Nintendo is the innovator artisan, focused on creating new ways to play, not chasing technical specs. Their mantra: use mature, affordable tech in creative ways. Think D-pad, motion controls, and the Switch. Nintendo is a risk-taker in design but conservative in business, fiercely protecting its IP and ecosystem. Sony is the media empire, aiming for scale and ecosystem dominance. PlayStation is the digital hub, games, movies, music, all in one place. Sony invests in high-fidelity experiences and services, willing to take early losses for long-term gains. Nintendo sells timeless joy. Sony builds a premium, all-encompassing platform. Their philosophies shape every move they make. The Nintendo-Sony rivalry plays out across hardware, software, and online services. Nintendo's hardware is unique hybrid consoles that don't compete on power, but on versatility and fun. Sony's PlayStation is a powerhouse, targeting high-end cinematic experiences. Software is where icons clash. Nintendo's Mario and Zelda versus Sony's God of War and The Last of Us. Nintendo's games are timeless and family-friendly. Sony's are cinematic and mature. Online, Sony dominates with PlayStation Network and PlayStation Plus. Huge libraries, recurring revenue. Nintendo's online service is simpler and cheaper, focused on retro games and basic multiplayer. Nintendo's risk: a failed console launch could be catastrophic. Sony's insulation: even if hardware slows, digital services keep profits steady. Their business models define their vulnerabilities and their strengths. The next phase of their war will be fought on all three fronts. As 2025 draws to a close, Nintendo finds itself at a crossroads. Switch sales, once a juggernaut, are now fading fast, and profits have taken a noticeable hit. The excitement that once filled stores has given way to uncertainty, with empty shelves and fewer fans lining up for the aging console. For Nintendo, this is a familiar challenge, one that demands bold action and fresh ideas to recapture the magic. All eyes are now fixed on the rumored Switch 2, a console that carries the weight of enormous expectations. It must be more than just an upgrade. It needs to be a true leap forward, powerful and innovative enough to convince over 140 million existing Switch owners to make the jump. The pressure is immense, as fans and industry insiders alike speculate about its features and potential. Nintendo must keep the hybrid magic alive, blending portability and home gaming in a way that feels fresh and exciting. A killer launch lineup is absolutely essential. The right games could spark another massive boom, reigniting the passion of longtime fans and drawing in a new generation of players. But the stakes are high. Failure could mean a repeat of the Wii U's struggles, a costly misstep that Nintendo can't afford. Meanwhile, Sony's PlayStation 5 remains a dominant force in the market, with strong sales and a loyal fan base. Yet, even Sony faces challenges. High development costs and a saturated market are real concerns, pushing the company to adapt. Sony's strategic pivot to digital sales and subscription services is proving to be a smart move, helping to offset the slowing pace of hardware sales. The PlayStation Network's massive user base provides a steady stream of income, creating a stable foundation for the company. Even as hardware momentum slows, digital services and online communities keep Sony's ecosystem thriving. This stability allows Sony to keep investing in blockbuster games and ambitious new projects, ensuring that their platform remains relevant and exciting. Nintendo, on the other hand, is betting everything on the success of its next console. Sony is focused on optimizing its digital empire, expanding its reach, and deepening player engagement. The contrast between the two companies highlights a fundamental difference. Nintendo's reliance on cyclical hardware launches versus Sony's sustained digital platform. The stakes couldn't be higher for both giants. As the industry evolves, their next moves will shape the future of gaming for years to come. For investors, Nintendo and Sony offer two very different bets. Nintendo is high risk, high reward, spectacular returns during a hit console cycle, but sharp declines if a launch fails. Its fortunes depend on the genius of its designers and the success of each new generation. Sony is the stable giant, diversified across gaming, film, music, and electronics. PlayStation is a huge driver, but Sony's other divisions cushion any gaming setbacks. Sony's steady growth comes from its expanding digital ecosystem, less tied to hardware booms and busts. Nintendo is thrilling but volatile. Sony is stable but slower to move. The choice bet on Nintendo's artistry or Sony's empire. The Nintendo-Sony rivalry is the engine of gaming's creativity. Nintendo, the master of fun, takes wild risks on hardware and design, betting everything on new ideas. Sony, the tech titan, builds a vast entertainment ecosystem and pushes the boundaries of cinematic gaming. Their competition forces both to innovate. Nintendo's Switch inspired Sony's DualSense, while Sony's online dominance nudged Nintendo to improve its own services. Each company responds to the other, raising the bar for everyone. The real winners? The players. Whether you love Nintendo's family-friendly joy or Sony's immersive blockbusters, your experience is richer because both exist. Their rivalry ensures gaming stays diverse, exciting, and unpredictable. The story of Nintendo versus Sony is the story of gaming itself, and everyone gets to play and win.